Hello and welcome back to Felly Music. Today is the release of Symphony #1 Kingdom, so go buy it. Just kidding, I don't sell it. Stream it. If you would like to hear about my thoughts and my concepts in making this video, no, not video, album, I have a very short version of it in my Instagram and then the very long one on my website, which you can look it up down on the description below. In the last video, I shared about my experiences in making Wolfgang. Sort of experiences, because it's more of a struggle and mistake video, but it was surprising how it worked out, and well, now at least I know how I would do things differently. And as I said before, making a brand new arrangement for it means that I'm gonna release this album in 2 years. I won't be releasing it today. So rather than doing that, I would just do things differently with the songs that I have in hand now, which is At Ease. At Ease was the very last song that I made because I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. It had a lot of rap, a lot of EDM, and a whole lot of confusion for me. I mean, I've done EDM before, but not to the extent that At Ease have done. It's a lot of noise, which is great, by the way. The EDM, the drop part was awesome. It's just something I'm not used to making. It's something that I'm just constantly confused in what to do. If I was just making the instruments and I had vocals on top of it, then perhaps it wouldn't be that confusing because, well, it's easier making that. But I'm gonna be making the melody too, and making rap into a melody is, well, just think about it. You're making the melody and Bobby's rapping, and then you have to you have to listen to the same notes over and over again. It's really not nice. Unless you know the song, you would be thinking, what exactly am I listening to? Not only is both the drop or the chorus or the EDM, the hook is extremely good and very hook-like. It's really good. I'm also challenged by Bobby's rap, which is most of the song. Apparently, I'm in trouble. So yeah, making this song, it wasn't easy. Obviously, I had to push through and finish it, because if I didn't finish it, then it would be another 2 years of waiting for Kingdom to come out, and for me to haunt myself with more deadlines. I've had a bit of experience actually with this kind of EDM with God's Menu by Stray Kids. I've made that cover before, but in order to be able to make God's Menu, I had to change a lot of it. I changed the vibe, I changed the overall arrangement. What I took was just basically their motif, their melody, and then just completely changed everything. It doesn't even sound like the original anymore. And even though I thought that it sounded well in the end, but I don't want to do that with At Ease, because the whole point was to stay true to the song. I didn't want to just cheat. This isn't actually cheating, but you get what I mean. Because, you know, like I said before, the whole point was to make the song similar. Would it have sounded better if I changed the mood? If I give it the God's Menu treatment? Maybe. But I've never made it, so we'll never know. So instead of procrastinating further, in April 13th, I got tired of myself and decided, let's just do it. The first thing I did, as per usual, was mapping out the melodies. Basically just listening to the audio, the original audio, and, you know, putting the melodies down into Logic Pro. I left out some blank spots for the rap. It was the part that I'm not sure what to do. The pre-chorus, however, was melody heavy, and I could totally do that. I could start with that. I think this is a good place to address that I actually did differently from Wolfgang this time, because I understand the 3 mistakes that I made. 1, I made it sound real. I stayed in the range of all the instruments because the VSTs, the VSTs made me do it. So yes, I kind of cheated a bit, but you know, I stayed in the range. I didn't go over it. Secondly, I understood balancing. So that meant that I'm able to balance the whole thing without really doing a lot in like gain stuff. Obviously, the VSTs does play a part because, I mean, I'm doing digital orchestra here, not actual orchestra. So yes, the VSTs does help me with balancing, but I do understand that horns and flutes, when they go together, the flutes will say bye-bye and be not heard, basically. And third and last one, I layered the melodies, like this part in the riser, which is really cool, by the way. I am very proud of the riser. What I basically did was there's 3 repetitions of the same melodies. Yeah, right. Three repetitions of the same kind of melody, same kind of motif, basically. And on 3 of them, the first one I only had a couple of instruments. The second one I added more, and the third one I added even more. And in those instruments, I added an octave above or below. So the mood actually went like this, and not just like this, and then add drum rolls and cymbal rolls, and then it went up like this, because that's what I used to do. I did that in Wolfgang. I just added, well, Wolfgang had a lot of cool stuff in it. I was really awesome in Wolfgang. Back then, what I did was just, add some timpani rolls and cymbal rolls, and that's my riser. A cheat, basically. Well, right now it's a cheat because if I needed something to go bigger, I would do that. I would just put timpani rolls and cymbal rolls and call it a day. But even then, if I were to just put those cymbal rolls and timpani rolls together and say that's a riser, it wouldn't be as impactful as me layering the melodies and hyping the whole things out. That is the end of the pre-chorus, and like I said before, the pre-chorus was actually the easiest part of the whole song. Moving on to the next part, which is the chorus, and I know that I said that I'm confused in what I'm going to do with this, but at least it's not as confusing as rap. So I did the chorus next. I actually considered just wiping everything and remaking the whole song because of the chorus, and just giving it the God's Menu treatment because of the chorus, because I literally did not know what to do. I wanted to stay true to the sound, to what was in the original song, but I had a really hard time doing it because EDM has this really big sound, and doing that in orchestra with a very limited amount of VSTs, it's actually pretty hard. Yes, I had a limited amount of VSTs, even though I had new VSTs from Wolfgang. I had 2 new VSTs, by the way. I had the orchestra VST and I had the percussions VST. It was better than Wolfgang, but it still wasn't enough because what I had was general. What I needed in At Ease was the big orchestras. So I went to another VST, Albion Colossus. Did I or did I not just buy a new VST for this song? Maybe. Well, I like this big sound, so it's an investment. And it's on discount. So I tried putting it in the chorus, and well, it still didn't sound like I would expected it to be. So I pushed it aside and meditated for a few days. During that meditation, I realized that I actually had to change At Ease a bit and give it the God's Menu treatment, at least a little bit. I actually expected it. When I heard At Ease, I knew that I probably had to change. I couldn't stay true exactly as the rest. The rest of the songs, I could probably do something to make it sound similar, but At Ease was... I don't think I could ever make it exactly the same as the original. I had to change it up. The question isn't if I would or should I change it up, but what should I change it into? I wanted to stay true to the whole melody because I like the pre-chorus. I didn't want to change the pre-chorus, but I had to change up the chorus. So I pushed it aside and meditated again. The idea came to me suddenly. I was listening to some of my old music, the music that I've made, both covers and originals. Yes, I have original songs. And I came across this. Battle of Alta II. You might not know the title because it's not a K-pop song. It's actually from a future project that I'm gonna make based on this series called Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. It's really far from halfway done. I've only done 1 or 2 songs basically, but I've already got a few ideas, which I revisited, and I landed on this part, the part where the impending doom is coming. And I thought, hey, that sounds pretty cool. it could probably work with at ease. That's how things happen. I made the chorus, and with the changes I'm happy with, but also managed to keep the original melody of the chorus, the really cool, what is this? Downward scale part in the chorus. The next challenge I put myself in is the last part, which the VST actually came in handy this time because it was really huge. Like the sound was really big. I was very, very happy with it. With only just a few horns and like low strings, I managed to make it sound like just really... And like, you know, all the 3 mistakes that I've learned since then, especially the doubling and like the balancing part, came in really, really handy because it would not have sounded that huge if I did not learn from my mistakes. I doubled the melodies with the horns and strings and played with the textures of the instruments, with the woodwinds as the embellishments because they are the softest. It also stayed in their ranges, by the way. No horns went over their range. It's still really funny how I thought, hey, French horns could totally go that high. Of course, the VSTs limits me from going higher, but at least now I'm very much aware of the ranges of the instruments. I also doubled my old VST, BBC Symphony Orchestra, which is not very old, it's also kind of new, with the new VST Albion Colossus throughout the whole song, because throughout the whole song, BBC's SOC is actually used, and just having Colossus in the very end would mean it's like a complete change of moods, and that's not very strategic, especially when there's like not a real reason for you to do that. So I had to double it up to make it pretty similar to the front part. And because of that, with just enough instruments, I managed to make something that sounds bigger and larger. Of course, this all wouldn't have been done if I didn't have the contrast and the softness of the ones before. If the whole song from the beginning to the end sounded huge, then this last part wouldn't have been impressive, which apparently I did not care for back then. A lot of the parts that I did back then wanted to stand out, like Finale, for example. It has a lot of like big sounds, and Kingdom Come also. It's not a mistake. Well, I mean, it is a mistake, but also like, you know, back then I just really liked this really loud sounds. Okay, I know I said the rap part was going to be the hardest, but funnily enough, it's actually not the hardest. It's actually the second easiest one. I don't struggle with it as much as the chorus because all I did was copy Bobby and, you know, made a little bit of melodies here and there and then just wing it. I didn't even have to like make too many new melodies because it fits. The new melody still sounds weird because I've been listening to At Ease for the past 2 years, but like it actually fits with the song, sort of. All in all, that's At Ease. It is definitely something I'm proud of, surprisingly enough. It's actually one of my favorites in this whole album, and it definitely showed how differently I do things in this song than before. I am glad though that I could still hear the parts of me that stayed consistent from the past till today, like how much I love brass and the different types of techniques that I could use in the strings because I play the violin. Definitely the VSTs contributed to this a lot, because if I was still stuck with my old one, then I would still be stuck with doing flat music. It wasn't the sole player. I still have my skills, and if I still had the skills I had back then, it wouldn't have sounded like this. The VSTs definitely made it sound more professional, which is what I'm going for. I am now very tempted to remake a lot of my covers with these new VSTs that I had. That is totally not an idea for a new project. That is it for the video, everyone. Even though it was 2 years and Kingdom is definitely already at a trend, it was a really fun project to me. And I didn't regret making it a single bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I release a new video. I'm making Maestro right now, and I'm going to be releasing it hopefully next month. Join the Discord. You will get weekly updates and a sneak peek into my future projects, including Maestro. And also, we can talk about stuff there, and you can suggest covers for me. This has been Fairly Music, and I will see you next time.